taking the time to listen to me give y'all a speech this morning. Real quick, as a quick show of hands, how many of y'all struggle with sleep, or maybe you're staying up on your phone all night, struggling with sleep every night, maybe you're just scrolling on your phone, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, and it's keeping you from going to sleep every night,
Show of hands. Show of hands.
Well, this speech I'd like to give y'all is regarding why it's important for every adult to receive 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night on a daily basis. It doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or if it's the weekend where we get to go have fun on the weekends. I know staying up is fun, but it's still very important for us to get this 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. It is crucial for us. The first point I'd like to make is that millions of Americans right now are struggling to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. And this can be for a multitude of reasons. Some struggle with some kind of physical need, like maybe they don't have a physical job, and so they have a hard time performing the energetic activities that are required to make your body physically tired and therefore able to sleep all night. Along with those physical, problems they might have a problem just falling asleep. They might have a sleep disorder. Other problems might be some mental related issues. Maybe they have, anxiety or depression that keeps them up at night. Some others might have a hard time because they have to process problems that are going on in their personal life. And some others, they could even be dealing with a spiritual matter. In scripture, we see that there are multiple times in scripture where some people have a hard time sleeping because they're wrestling over this spiritual problem that they have. And until that spiritual problem is resolved, they cannot go to sleep. And we see this even today in 2026 in this day-to-day life. So the number one thing is that millions of Americans are struggling to get sleep every night. The second thing is, why are they struggling? Like I said before, it could be a physical, a mental, or a spiritually related matter. The third thing is, how do we handle this now? Maybe you have a physical problem. Maybe you don't spend enough time exercising throughout the day to be able to gain that loss of energy in order to be able to fall asleep at night just because you're not tired enough. So what can we do to start creating more energetic habits throughout our day? Well, one of those things might be, just to begin with, setting a schedule. Waking up every single day at the same time, roughly, within the same 20 to 30 minutes every day. You want to say, wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Between 7 and 7:30, you decide that I'm going to wake up between 7 and 7:30 every single day. And that before I go to bed, I'm going to make sure that I go to bed between 9 to 9:30 every single night. You give yourself a healthy time frame. That way you're not stressed about staying on an exact schedule, okay? So make sure that you set the schedule. And then 2, every single day when you do wake up, get out of bed. Do something active. It doesn't have to be going for a run or lifting weights. It could be just something as simple as performing day-to-day activities, like I'm going to go get dressed, I'm going to go clean something, I'm going to go take care of myself by getting in the shower and just taking care of myself, or going outside and taking care of the animals. The second thing would be, how do I help a mental related block that's keeping me from sleep? If someone's struggling with anxiety or depression, for one, it is important, while I'm not going to talk about the topic of anxiety or depression, it is important that we identify what's causing this anxiety or depression, and we can handle it accurately. If it's a simple matter, maybe it could just be by talking to somebody. If it's a more serious matter, a professional might be required to be able to handle this situation. But if it's a spiritually related matter, we need to go to God with our problems. We need to give our anxiety to God with it, So we want to deal with those things properly. So number one, everybody struggles with getting the proper amount of sleep they need. 2, there are things that are causing these issues. And 3, there are ways to solve these problems. In conclusion, I just want to say that, even myself, as a blue-collar individual, going to school full-time, working out every day, I'm a husband, I do struggle to get the sleep that I personally need. But everyone can meet their sleep goal requirements that they need to make in order to have a healthy and happy and joyful lifestyle. So my name is Evan Stepanian. Thank you for listening to my speech. This is my conclusion on why everybody needs to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Thank you.